with that, guys, welcome to the 10th podcast. This is number 10. This is huge. This is very, very big, and we have the new service coming out. So I'm your host, MicrowaveGaming,
and I am his co-host, GameAddicts.
Go Captain. You know what's up, man? Yo, you excited? You excited for Tuesday? I think it's what, Tuesday that the service come out, or what day is that?
Yeah, no, it should be Tuesday. Today is the
God.
1st. But yeah, Tuesday should be the 5th.
That's fantastic.
I'm more than excited. I'm like anxious. I don't want to play Rainbow on the old servers.
Me neither.
I loved the TTS.
Yeah, fuck the other stuff. It is pretty nice, man. The lighting and everything. It just makes you not want to go back to the old ways. Like it's just terrible looking. So I will not be playing on the live servers until the full patch is deployed. So that'll be on the 5th of September for everybody. Anybody and everybody will get the patch on the 5th. The new map and everything will be 100% out on the 5th of September. That's this upcoming Tuesday. So if you're listening to us on YouTube, you've only got 2 more days. All right? 2 more days. That's fantastic.
And if you're a season pass holder, you get access to the new operators on Tuesday. If you are not a season pass holder, you still have to wait 1 week.
See, look at that, 1 week. So you better buy it because you're gonna be behind the curve. You know, you're already behind the curve. GameAct and I we'll have 2 weeks ahead of you on the new operators. So we'll also have some video tutorials on like how to play, some guides. I know my channel will. I don't know if you'll be breaking down any of the operators. Will you be doing on your channel?
I actually was, because I plan to. These operators are so different.
They are different.
And they really do change up this meta. You know, I was actually watching Zironic stream earlier today. Yes, and what Zironic was talking about with Ella and different play styles, I really appreciated and thought more people should know about that. So I may take his advice and kind of incorporate it into my own way. Zironic, if you guys don't know, great player, pro player in EU. Check him out if you haven't.
And he was recently partnered on Twitch, and we will put a link in the description down below. Don't worry, he'll be there, so you can check him out. So the first thing I want to talk about is, did you experience, so obviously we were playing the TTS, I don't know, what, for 25, 30 hours, 35 hours. We put in some time, dude. We put in a lot of time on the TTS. Did you experience anything kind of wonky?
You know, the one thing, now this is just me personally, obviously. The one thing that really bugged me was that there's a repel glitch. There's something going on with repelling.
What's wrong with that?
So I experienced this just a few times.
Right.
You know, so maybe out of consistency, it happened 8% of the time. It's not huge, but when it happens, it's game breaking for you. It's almost debilitating. So when you go up to the wall and you hold down your action button to go on repel, the game flips you around.
What?
Yeah, it flips you upside down. It kind of flips you. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's kind of a low rate of happening. It's not really something that everybody has experienced, but I've seen and heard several people kind of talk about this, saying, "Oh, what the hell just happened to me?" And it happened to me at least 3 times. 2 of them resulting in deaths because of runouts. Like I'm aiming to my left, going up on a rappel. Once my grapple hook reaches the roof and I am actually rappelling, it flips you around and flips you upside down.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it was absolutely terrible. Now, like I said, not a very frequent bug, but something that to me was so game breaking when it happened, and like I said, it resulted in a couple deaths for me.
That's unfortunate.
Right, it is unfortunate and personally upsetting, but to me that was the biggest one. I'm not quite sure. What did you experience?
Oh my God, dude, you want to hear me vent? Oh my God, we'll be here for days,
bro.
We'll
bring it on
for days, bro.
That's why we are here.
I know.
We want to hear what you have to say, Microwave.
Well, let's see. There was, like, last night I was playing, and I jumped inside a consulate on the top part of the map, and I ran inside, I breached in, I did all the cool Ying stuff you're supposed to be doing, and all of a sudden I couldn't vault. The vaults, like, it wouldn't allow me to vault at all. And I had 3 enemies flashed. I had 2 enemies down. There was 1 in front of me, and I couldn't vault to get him. And he was able to pick me off. And so vaulting is a thing. There's weird things where you blow yourselves up with grenades.
Yeah, that was a very weird one.
Yeah, did you see it? I tweeted the clip.
I did, and I watched the clip.
Yeah.
Yes, I did watch the clip, and
it just happened. It was like just Michael Bay, just out of nowhere, just boom, I just died. I even said it in the thing.
Odd
I was like,
you got pit points. Yeah, you got pit points inside for like blowing up barbed wire.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden I just blew up. So there's stuff like that I've experienced. There was a random teleportation through the wall. That was weird. I got a double knife with Ella, and then I was hugging the console wall, and then it put me into the middle of the main corridor, the front door, because we were holding down that site, and it just teleported me through the wall randomly, just boop, gone, and then I got picked off pretty quickly. So I was pretty upset about that because that cost us the round.
Right.
That was very unfortunate. So
yeah, that's a pretty interesting one. Now I know that like teleporting through objects isn't something that's very common in this game.
No, it's very weird how it happens.
Right. Now I know like rubber banding happens when 2 people try to go through a doorway, or they just kind of squish each other in a weird situation. So you know there's slight teleporting. You'll teleport back 4 feet, but actually teleporting through an object, that is something that's like I haven't seen since year 1 of this game.
Yeah, it literally just put me right through it. Some other things, like I found a really neat bug. There was this, I guess, like if you're playing Lesion, I didn't test it out on Ella, and I didn't test it out on, I should have, I don't know why I didn't, on Ying, but if you crouch and if you rotate while standing still, you know how you rotate like in 360s, you kind of make that shuffle noise because your feet are repositioning. Well, you don't make that noise anymore. There's no noise to be made. Like you can, like I was running, I had my shotgun out and I was rotating like 360, just like super fast, and there was no sound at all. Now, to some, like, oh, that might not be a big thing, but like, let me tell you, dude,
huge.
It is huge because I play Lesion. Legion's my new main. Like, he's gonna be my new guy, and I use his shotgun. And a lot of the times, you're gonna be hugging corners and trying to like stay hidden. And if you're able to freely 180 rotate without anybody hearing you, that's game breaking almost for that operator.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely game breaking. I completely agree.
Yeah, I let them know about everything that we've seen or I've seen. I've contacted the devs, DM them, sent them clips of me doing on stream, because 90% of the time I played on the TTS, bro. Like I was streaming, so I had chat clip it for me. So I went back to the clips and I just fed them, just boom, 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 this. And it seems that there's a problem. I'm kind of nervous about this. You know how like I made that video about Echo, like you're able to destroy the floor, and then they decided that you can now plant the diffuser on destroyed floors, which is great. That's fantastic. Right. So they fixed it, right? Cool. Well, the problem is that the diffuser sometimes jumps up and down, like it's vibrating, like it's at a rave concert or something. It's like, and it's going all insane. And
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, it's
interesting.
It is, and then it'll actually say the diffuser has been disarmed, but it's still going and it's still vibrating. So it's like, so it's
now I understand what you're saying. Yeah, so it almost gives like a false diffusal.
Yeah, and it worries you, panics you. Like I didn't hear it, but like chat heard it and they were like, what the hell? Oh, by the way, guys, this podcast is live. I know some of you guys are asking the question. This is live. This goes on YouTube and stuff, so I don't really talk too much to Twitch while the podcast is happening, but I wanted to go ahead and let you guys know that this is 100% live. I do see you guys in chat. We don't do this pre-audio bullshit, pre-recordings that some of the other streamers do. So this is live. Just want to let you guys know.
No, completely off the top of the head, guys, how we feel in the moment.
This is live, If you want to ask questions, donations automatically get put up, and we answer those on the spot. So if you want to donate like, $50 and say Microwave is gay, well then, yeah, I'll read that live and it'll go on YouTube. that's just how it works. So
but we would hope you'd want to ask like a real question and not just like
insult
troll.
us.
I mean, if you want to troll for whatever, it's your money. Like nobody's gonna tell you how to spend it. But you know, going back to like that audio bug, because that is huge.
The Lesion one?
Huge. Yes.
Yeah.
That's absolutely, at least in a pro league, because like we've talked about before, pro league and ranked are kind of like the meta setters.
Right.
You know, ranked being like a practice place for pro league where you can practice your strats against people that you haven't scrimmed against. So if you're able to camp a corner or a room, anything, a half wall in a room, you know, you have some theme park gameplay up right now on stream.
Yeah.
Imagine there's several places to hide in that map, guys.
Yep, a lot.
Especially as Lesion. And if you are able to set a trap where it sets off an audio cue, then the person is making a damaging noise, and then they have to physically stop to take out that little clip. It is absolutely game breaking that he can just stay in one spot, spin around as much as he wants, and move around, and nobody will know he's there unless he's drunk.
Exactly. So, yeah, I have some gameplay going up. It's just to keep everybody kind of interested. This is some pre-recorded gameplay of Theme Park and the ranked that we did against some of the pros, Chapstick and all those good people. So, yeah. So it is a problem that I've seen in the game. Hopefully they do get that fixed. I don't know about their priority list. Hopefully the servers are #1, but again, we have no idea.
Right. Well, I mean, so something like that, at least from a technical standpoint, what I see the problem is that there's just no audio cue that has been set up for that argument.
Yeah.
So it's just something that's been forgotten to be added. So it should be really simple. All of those audio cues are pre-recorded. They don't change. They basically have values that are set onto the surfaces, and then the game reads what surface you're on and what audio cue it should play. So it should be really simple to just add into the game. Obviously, like you said, servers come first, but this should be an easy fix for them.
Yeah, and I think that's what you and I were trying to do on the TTS. We're trying to play the new operators and then try to recreate problems, within the game that we saw, and that was definitely like a big one that I noticed. But how did you feel about the servers there, buddy? Like,
first day one, they were okay. I liked them. Like they felt like back when they first introduced the new servers, and it was only the new servers, so it was the old build of the game. Lighting hadn't been redone. New ops and maps weren't there. Servers felt great because there wasn't this huge influx of players, I don't think. Now this time around, because this is like this fucking awesome huge patch that's making us like giddy. We're like schoolgirls, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, like everybody wanted to come try it out. Right. Everybody wanted to come try it out. I think that there was an overload, and there was major server degradation by day 3 or 4.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we were all into one server thing. I don't know if you saw it on the stream there. The diffuser was bouncing up and down. That's an example of what I was talking about.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah. Now, we're all playing in Central U.S. I was having ping problems, and I live closest. I'm in the West Coast, so I had the same amount of ping that I had Central that I did in Eastern. And and I guess this goes beyond ping, because like things just weren't connecting. Now, you experienced them later on during the TTS. I experienced them live on stream the first day. The first game we played, I remember it was Border, and we were facing some really, really good players, and I got a clear headshot on IQ. I even freeze framed it. Like, I went frame by frame, and her head was like super knockback. It wasn't like the normal knockback where you get shot in the neck. I mean, her head was like 180 damn near, and and we went frame by frame, and it was a hit. Like, it was a confirmed hit. And after that, like, I shot somebody in the chest with the SAS shotgun again. We went frame by frame just to make sure, like, you know, oh, because sometimes, you know, we all complain like, that's not a fucking headshot. How's that not a headshot? You know, I do that all the time. And then you go frame by frame, and then you're like, well, you know, yeah, the game's right. I messed up. I missed my shot.
You see, I hit a shoulder.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But like, we were doing some detective stuff, and like, I was 4 meters away from Jaeger, and I put a whole round or a whole buckshot into his chest. There was no bullets beyond the wall. Again, we went frame by frame, and he had 100% HP, 100%. Wow. And that was just day one, dude. That was day one.
Yeah.
If anything, I am super excited about the patch. If you watch my stream, you'll hear me say it time and time again. I'm super excited. I love this. I love the patch. I think it's going to be fantastic. But I am so nervous about these servers going live. I don't think they're going to be that great, man, and I worry. Yeah. I really do worry.
No, I can feel your worriedness, right? I mean, that's definitely something that's logical. It's if they were supposed to, if this build of the TTS was supposed to be full patch and full servers, then yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking.
It is. Well, Exec yesterday, I was watching his stream. I caught the tail end of it. You know, he does all this detective siege science stuff. Really brilliant guy. He actually breaks it down as best he can. And he was talking about one specific clip where Ash Solo, one of the players, like pro players for Empire, he peeked him, and then he peeked him again. He threw a flashbang. And then he peeked him a third time, and he got the kill. And on the kill cam, you can see all that happening. And then he's actually aiming to where Exec was laying on the ground. Now, Jaeger, he was playing Jaeger. On his screen, he was not laying on the ground. He was up behind a table. But on Ash's screen, when he peeked him, he was still laying down. And it was literally like a 0.5, probably to a 0.9, maybe 1 second delay that the stream saw. So the server was saying, hey, I'm Jaeger, I'm still on the ground. Ash peeked him, saw him on the ground, but on his actual feed, he was standing up behind a table, and you could see it clear as day, dude.
Right.
And it's stuff like that he even said he's worried about it. The servers are going to be a big problem. A lot of people are excited about the patch, but bro, I am so damn nervous about these servers going live.
So here's another thing, though, that I've kind of pondered on regarding servers. So I live in the middle of the country. I live in the city in the Midwest, best city in the whole wide world.
Yeah, but you got good internet. You got fiber. There's no fiber here.
I don't have fiber. I mean, I have decent internet. It's not bad. There's not really fiber here in Chi-Town, but it's pretty good. But so even when we were playing central US servers, I was still getting like 80 ping. I don't think the servers were good where we were. Now, again, most people play East US. Then some people play West US, but like nobody plays Central. Central is like used for scrims between pros because it's like right in the middle of everybody. Yeah. So I just think that the servers in Central, since we were only allowed to use this one group of servers, it was a smaller size, smaller group set of servers. And then they were being massively overloaded with the amount of people here.
That could be the thing, yeah.
And the reason why I totally believe that is because my ping was atrocious for having lived here. Right. And I'm like right here.
Right.
So like to me to see that, you know, even if the servers were located in like Texas, because I know that sometimes servers will be in Texas and they'll still be considered central US. It shouldn't be that bad. It shouldn't be 80 to like 90. So to me, there was definitely some stress that I saw. Now that could have been, you know, a factor in why we were seeing such hit discrepancies. But I'm optimistic, we should say, for live release, right? For full release.
Now, of course, this was a TTS, is a technical test server, and a lot of people do say, hey, yeah, it could have been overloaded, and it does make me nervous, but at the same time, again, I feel we also have to hold judgment, you know, when it comes live to really break it down. You know, we're just giving our initial opinions on what we see and how we feel about the TTS. So if Ubisoft, you're listening to this, that's just the pre stuff. You know, hopefully it does get better. Maybe it was overloaded. Give you guys the benefit of the doubt, of course. But
right.
Yeah. So I really am nervous about it. But so I want to go ahead and jump into the operators. Who would you like to talk about first? Since we played them extensively, we were always stealing them from people because we're kind of assholes. I was stealing from them.
But honestly, by the end of the TTS, I think that everybody playing the TTS was pretty respectful about
I would agree
giving
with that.
operators.
Yeah. Like there was a lot of times where we just like Ying actually didn't get picked for like the last 5 seconds. Everybody was like, "Do you want to play it?" No, okay. You want to play it?
Right, and then even some rounds. And now this was me when I was like just trying to get a game solo queued and ranked, so I just went to casual. Nobody even picked Ying.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I mean, it got to the point where people were like, "Well, if you want to play him, go ahead." But obviously there's some problems with the LMG. I think.
Yes, there are some problems with that. Yeah.
So people didn't choose her right away.
How do you feel?
I honestly don't care who we talk about first.
Okay, let's well, since we're on the subject of Ying, let's go in alphabetical order and just start with Ying, right?
Reverse alphabetical order?
I want to see if you catch that.
I mean, I'm like, alphabetical order.
Ying. A for Apple, A for Ying. So, like, what do you think about her gadget? Let's talk about her gadget first. So for you guys that don't know, if you've been living under a rock or on the moon, it's called the Candela. It is a Pokeball shaped object. Basically has little wheels. It kind of rolls around like little thing on Star Wars where the General Dooku, I think, is running around with it. Or what is it, Grievous? Which one's the general with all the arms? Jesus Christ.
That's Grievous.
Grievous, right. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You know how he's running around that mechanical hamster wheel thing? That's basically what it is. and then all of a sudden it opens up into 50-50 pieces and 4 flashbangs pop out in a radius in a circle. And there's no hiding from it. You're fucked. Like you're gonna get hit by it.
You can't even turn away from it.
Nope, because it hits everywhere. So what do you think about? Let's talk about the gadgets, and then we'll break down the weapons real quick. What do you think about the gadget itself?
Gadget itself, I love it. I think that it makes Ying really unique because part of her gadget is having her visor, right?
Right.
So once you go down to hold the charge, the Candela charge, if you want to activate the timer, instantly your visor flips on. You get like a little blue hue to your screen. I think it's such an awesome new take on being a breacher. Now we actually saw you on Theme Park using her like that.
Yes.
And it's really exciting to see that. Now, like you said, it works like 90% of the time, I think.
Yeah.
At least when people are in radius of it. So that's the other thing, is like learning the radius of it. But I'm happy with it.
You like it?
I'm really, really happy with it. I do. I like her gadget. I like that you can roll it. I like that you can throw it and it sticks. Like, if you don't charge it. And then I really like that it's like a fuse.
It is. So it's like a 3-in-1. Like, and it's also the first gadget where it's you can activate it in multiple ways. So it's like a multi gadget really for one button. So it is exciting to see that they did something like that. I do feel that they there's still some work. There's been times where I was using it and all of a sudden it would switch randomly. Like I'd be going up to a window and there was nothing on the window. I'd be getting ready to deploy it on the window itself. And then all of a sudden it would switch into my hand and I would throw it. Even though the animation said, hey, you're going to fuse it, but it would throw it like a grenade.
I have seen that as well.
Yeah, there are some problems with that, I think. Did I play that one? Yeah, I already played that video.
But in terms of its utility, like how do you feel about how it's going to be used as a utility?
I think, I really try to focus on the core essence of what Ying is supposed to be. I see a lot of players use her as a flashbang. They wait. They don't use her visor like you're supposed to. And then they go in and then the flash is halfway done. What I did, I just went balls deep, bro. I threw it. And by the time the things were going, I was inside the room. I was making plays. And I think that's the way you're supposed to play Ying, but it's incredibly hard because now she's going to be a little bit more difficult on the console because the console players are, if you've ever watched them, I think this is my personal opinion, is that they're more of pre-aim. You know, you can flick obviously on consoles, but it's not as easy to do as it is on the PC. So I feel like Ying's like a get in there, make plays, flick on headshots, try to take the objective while in the safety of her flashbang, kind of like Glass with the smoke. The smoke is off, you're inside the cloud, you're more safe. You're still susceptible, you know, to random shots, but you're safe. That's your little zone. And now Ying has a timed zone, but nobody can see around you. So I would consistently breach in. I do feel that it's incredibly hard at the higher rank level. You know, we're playing against some pros. I feel that using it as a fuse in a window and then either taking the shotgun, blowing it open, or using a breaching charge, I feel that is still increasingly difficult, because I know you and I, we hear that breaching charge being put on the wall. We hear that stuff being put on the windows, right? And we start shooting it
a lot.
Yeah, we sound whore a lot. And I'm afraid that Ying will not be that good of an operator on Windows. Now, I love the fact that you can roll it under the windows, but I feel like you have to shoot the doors, or you have to, like, it's difficult. It's easy to get the flashbang in, but it's difficult to get your operator in. So if I roll it underneath a door, it's hard because the flashbangs are already going off, and I have to run all the way around. So it's like, I don't feel that she's like the breaching person. Like, I feel like she's going to be support, and it kind of conflicts to me because she's the only one that has the visor.
It's meant to, only protect her from it, right?
Yeah. Now, actually, here's a clip of me using it against Jaeger, believe it or not, and I was able to do it. Now, I know a lot of times when you're rolling it, it'll bounce off the wall, and it's kind of weird. But I do like Ying. I think she's going to be one of the most difficult operators, to be honest, to use, because she's so versatile. And just like Ella, and we'll get into that later, of how many ways you can play her. So right here, here's an example of me. I know where Jaeger is. I'm the only one that can use it. I throw a Pokeball inside the room, and it goes off. So he's detonated, and I'm already in. I'm going toward him. I'm looking for him, and he's behind me. He doesn't see me, and I get the kill. A little bit slow there, but
that's how you want to play it.
But that's how you want to play it. Yeah, you want to make plays while it's going off, and a lot of people, they take their time. So
now, how do you feel? What are your thoughts on the timing, or the timer of how long you are flashed for?
I think that the flashbang itself should be a little bit longer. I feel that when I was flashed, it was for 2 seconds, and I haven't done the timing. I haven't really looked into it. I haven't watched a Koros video. I'm pretty sure he's going to break it down at some point. Of the regular flashbangs versus a Candela flashbang. But I feel like the Candela flashbang is greater in radius, but it doesn't last as long as a regular flashbang. And that's a problem, because now you're dealing with two different types of flashbangs. You're like, which one was it? Like, it's not happening that much. And I do like the timer on it, but I wish it was a little bit more. Like, I feel that, like, if you were if you're successfully getting that breach in, which is difficult, then it should be harder to, you know, or it should be more time for for her, because a lot of time you're using it from such a far away position. You have to get inside the room, just like I showed in that one clip. I had to get into the room, and by the time he was already unblinded, so it's like, what, you know?
It's like you need to be in there right when it's going off. And
exactly.
Even then, you as Ying are not completely immune to it. The screen still does get a little brighter for you.
You see blue.
But you see blue. I think, if there was even like a half second.
I say half second longer, yeah.
Right, a half second longer, making it like 2.5 seconds per flash that's coming out of that Candela charge. I think it would make a huge difference.
I would agree with that. You bring up a really good point. Is there anything else you want to add? Oh, we could talk about the weapons. Out of the two, we have the LMG, we have the shotgun. The shotgun is a 6-round auto, and the LMG is an 81-round magazine-fed LMG. You could put the ACOG on the LMG. You get a hollow and all the normal stuff on the shotgun. It's not suppressed. You can't suppress the LMG. What do you think about the LMG? First off,
so when I first when I first was playing, like I said earlier in the TTS, everything felt fine. Of course, I didn't notice anything yet because I'm still so excited about the operators. I'm not really looking for the problems with their weapons. But over time, it did feel like that there was some hit reg issues with the LMG. Like it just wasn't connecting.
Yeah.
So I like it. I like the size of the magazine. Obviously, I wasn't used to it. Like I put out a clip of playing Ying and entry fragging, and people were like, "Why did you reload when you have 51 bullets left in your mag?" And it's like, well, I'm not used to having like 81 bullets.
Yeah.
So
and it kind of feels like an AR. It kind of looks like an AR. It doesn't feel like your normal LMG, you know.
Right. It doesn't even sound like your normal LMG. So yeah, I wasn't used to it. Overall, like I think once it gets tweaked throughout this next patch, I think it's going to be a really viable weapon. What are your thoughts on it?
I think there is hit reg issues with that weapon. I don't like I worked with the spread of it, and the first bullet is on point, but then it jumps like 2-3 foot. And then if you hold it down where you, like, if you've played Counter-Strike, you know how the AK is. It fires, and then the bullets literally go up, and then they stay in a certain point. And if you just hold it, like, down where you were originally aiming, those bullets are kind of going to go in that circle. But it looks like those bullets are traveling up and out of your barrel, like, not through the barrel, but, like, up and out.
Right.
You've seen it, like, when they're holding it and spraying it in the pros.
Right. No, I know exactly what you mean.
That's exactly the way her weapon fires, and it's the first weapon that I've seen that does that. Normally, like the L85, it climbs and it continues to climb, but it just keeps going like, you know, like a staircase. But this one, the first bullet's on point, and then the rest of them are just clustered. And if you hold it down, you'll cluster it. So it's super difficult because I haven't experienced a weapon like that in Rainbow. I have had the hit reg problems in the game. I'm not excited about it. I think the LMG is most of the people are going to use it, but I feel like the shotgun was way better in my opinion. Sure, you had to get in there, but like the shotgun itself was like, you know, you were able to breach open hatches or windows or something crazy like that, and you didn't need a breaching charge.
It's actually really powerful.
I wish it had more rounds. Like I wish it had, like Ella's has 10. I wish it had 10. Oh my god, that'd be so much better, because I felt like by the time, like, I was, you know, I would fuse a window, and then I would jump in, and I would, like, well, I'd had to shoot the window first after that. That was three rounds, and I had 3 rounds to kill people with while I'm in the room. Otherwise, I had to reload while inside the room that I'm attacking. So I feel that...
and that puts you in a very bad situation.
Yes, it does. So I would love to see maybe a better sidearm or more rounds inside the for the shotgun. I call them rounds, but you guys get what I'm saying.
No, so, I mean, I agree with you. More ammo would be nice.
That would be nice.
Now, the range on the shotgun.
It's wonky. It's not as good as the 612 that Lesion has, but I feel it's okay.
I felt like the ranges on these shotguns were actually really decent.
Yeah.
Like and just balanced for when they came out. Because if we remember, like Super 90 came out, Sniper 90, it was stupid broken. Flash forward all the way to like season 4. Now we have the Supernova, you know, the new shotgun that had come out. Right, which just got a buff, but that was absolute garbage. That had like no range on it. So it's like they've been trying to find this perfect balance of power to range, and I feel like these new shotguns are pretty balanced in terms of how powerful they are to the range that they have.
Now the 612 from Lesion. I guess we're just going to talk about Lesion right now. We'll talk about his weapons real quick. I felt that his weapon was like a hit or miss. There was times, and all this is on stream, I got like a point blank. Nothing was in my reticle except for Hibana's head, and I would fire, and she had like 90% HP. And then there's times where I've killed somebody long range before with two shots, and they would instant death, right? And this happened to me too at the same time. So it's not consistent. I think the 612 is like, bro, like this is. It's very wonky. It's not consistent. Like Ella's, I think, is awesome because you get the extended barrel on there, and oh my god, it's so great, dude. Ella's shotgun is fantastic, but her Scorpion's way better, you know.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
But I feel that Ying or Lesion's SMG, I had a lot of time with the toxic T-shirt cannon. That's kind of what I call it.
The toxic T-shirt cannon.
Yeah, because it sounds like it, dude. But I know you spent a shit ton of time on the SMG. So why don't you tell us about what you felt on the SMG?
Man,
you got a really good forebang. I think it was in your video, right, on your YouTube channel. I think you put that on there, right?
Yes,
definitely check that out, guys. It was really good.
That just went up yesterday.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Go check that out, guys. You won't be disappointed.
Yes. Well, so that I was using the silencer on the SMG, and that was kind of just like a suggestion somebody had said, like, oh, try it out. It's actually not that bad. You know, sometimes silencers are uncontrollable or inconsistent with your weapon. They make the recoil way wonky. So having spent time with this SMG, I think silencer is viable. Definitely viable.
That's what I've been using. That's what I've been using every time.
I really think it is. The SMG overall, I didn't really use compensator that much. I'm not like normally spraying and praying. I use a lot of flash hider or muzzle brake depending on like how I'm going to be firing. Tap fire for muzzle brake, small burst fire for the flash hider, obviously.
Yeah, you play a lot of anchor. You don't really run and gun and drop shot.
Right. You know, unless I'm trying to be super toxic.
Yeah. No,
but
that's. Sorry, go ahead.
But so you know, using flash hider, in case you guys like aren't aware, like flash hider stops affecting the recoil after like the 5th bullet. So your recoil after the 5th bullet should start to get unpredictable or uncontrollable. It definitely, you could feel that. You could definitely feel the recoil with a flash hider after your spray, after your short spray. Compensator, like I said, I didn't use it that much, but I felt like it was pretty okay. Decent. If you're just one of those players who's going to be holding that angle and then laying down that suppressive fire, waiting for them to like peak it again. Right. It's all right, you know. So out of the SMG, I think it's decent. I think that the recoil can be a little wild when you're not using the suppressor. Surprisingly, I'm a big fan of the suppressor.
How do you feel about his gadget? Now, for you guys that don't know, it's a goo trap. Basically, it's invisible. He gets up to 7 in one map, and ranked because there's a certain timer, so you can have up to 7. Because it continues to replenish, so you get 1 at the beginning, and then right after the prep phase, sorry, you get another one. So, and basically you step on them and then you become poisoned. You have to pull them out. It does 8 damage, like what, every 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and you have to pull it out. It adds. So, what do you think about the goo traps? Like, how do you use them? Do you find them viable?
I do. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan.
I'm a big fan too.
I just think, you know, they're not that hard to counter either. I just think that they're so incredibly important for watching flanks or for roaming. Like you can be a roamer with Lesion, I think.
I would agree with that, yeah.
It's incredibly easy to set up these goo traps in your flank spots, right? It's so incredibly versatile. I think he's so important. And like we said, I think you said it the most. You think he is going to be changing the meta the most out of anybody. Now, after this TTS, how do you feel about that?
I still think that it's the same. Sorry about that. I still feel that it's exactly the same. What I said before. Now, he has these traps that basically you can create this bubble. Now, I've said time and time again, Siege is basically a bubble. The attacker's job is to force this bubble smaller so they can plant, or separate it so that way they can. Now, what I mean by bubble, it's like area of operation where the defenders can roam around the map while being safe. Now, you want to keep it into their objective room. So the job of the attackers is to continuously push. Now, Ella and Lesion, they're out there. They're making this bubble stay further away longer. And I feel with Lesion, like you could do multiple things. Like sometimes I was hiding on the stairs and I would put traps behind the stairs and I would just sit there and wait for shotgun kills, or
Right.
I would help the people out in Geisha and slow the attacking there, and then call out like, hey, my trap just went off in red. Be careful, red. One is definitely there. And then I would, we would all rotate. He's giving that information, just like I kind of said in one of my old videos. Like, it's all about, I actually said, a poison trap operator that does, really low damage, that tells everybody where you're at. And they actually incorporated that to the game, and we actually got to see it live. So I think he's going to be a great information person. I didn't really see IQ too much, actually, and I still don't think IQ will be used in the Pro League as much as people think. I think they'll just hope for the best and just kind of like, fuck, I'm caltroped. They're gonna. I mean, 8 damage isn't that much, basically what's gonna happen, in my opinion. Like, let's say you put a caltrope underneath the Geisha window. The pros are still going to jump in. They're going to secure the room. And then once the room is secure, they're going to pull it out. And they're going to, they're not going to panic. Like, okay, I'm getting damage over time. I got the room. The room is clear. Pull it out. Or they're going to reset them. I really don't think IQ is still going to be played. She's just not that good of an operator because of the gadget. It's kind of wonky. If they added to the main weapon, yeah, most likely, definitely. But
if it was like a heartbeat sensor from Modern Warfare 2, sure.
But yeah, I still feel that Lesion is like, I was right with last season saying Mira was going to be the guy. A lot of people were like, oh, Jackal's going to be fantastic, tracking people down. And you and I were like, no, not really, bro. And
yeah,
now that we have these 3 operators, a lot of people really think Ella's going to be it. But I think those are just a couple of boners that I really think Lesion is going to be the guy. I really do.
Yeah. Speaking, she said like Lesion is going to be used for information giving. What are your thoughts on only he is able to see where he's placed his traps?
That's a really good point. I think it's a lot of information on the screen for other people, but I wish there was an option to where you can turn it on or off if you wanted it, because especially in the ranked groups, not everybody has a mic. I guess we're always talking about like high rank and pro player settings. Obviously in the pros, they're gonna be like, hey, obviously red drum has been, they hit it, they took it out, but you can use your microphone to communicate with your team. But I wouldn't mind having to see them, and they're so tiny, you barely even see them.
Right. I mean, even the marker on the map, there's no scaling to that. You could be 100 meters away, and it still only has a max size that it will get from when you're like 15 meters to 20 meters. And so now that they actually, just to segue into a little feature that they added, when you do ADS towards objectives or gadgets, guys, the icon gets smaller and less opaque.
Yep.
So it's a little feature they added.
Thank you, Antoine, for that.
Yeah.
Yes, we didn't notice it. We didn't notice until he came into stream and said, "Hey, have you checked this out?" And we're like, "Oh shit, we haven't even noticed that," because we're so caught up in the new operators. But yeah, that is a neat feature. So the UI devs are definitely working hard to make the game better. I would like to see that. I would love to see the like an opaque scaler for seeing the teams, so you can. They're outlined through the white outline through the walls. I wish you could make it dimmer or brighter depending on how you want as a person. I wish they would do that, but I really do think that Lesion is gonna be the guy, dude. His weapons are great. He's a fantastic operator. He's a 2-2. But what do you think about Ella? I think you had more time as Ella.
Personally, I love Ella. I think she.
You had a lot of stuff on this. So you just take it away. Take it away. Let's hear your thoughts on Ella. Let's go.
Well, I feel like she is almost. I want to say like a 90% pick rate. So she could be used less, obviously, but I want to say she's pretty high, almost pretty high up there every time. Her gadget can be used as both a trap and offensively and defensively if you are in a DBNO state.
That is
so
cool.
if you're downed, and I got to use that once. It was pretty cool. I got to detonate it, and I'm almost positive I'd set like all of my traps off. I'd laid them all out. Like I was playing as a trapper, as somebody who prevented pushes, who kept that bubble outwards. Now some people will play her more like Jaeger, where she's going to be a hard roamer.
Right. But you could do that.
Or you absolutely can do that. Her gun, I really enjoyed. I think that it's in a perfect state of of recoil control, power, and fire rate. So I think it's pretty balanced. I enjoy her greatly, very, very much.
Put another game on the screen. So what was your preferred way of playing her though?
My preferred way. So surprisingly, I think I played these two Lesion and Ying. Sorry, not Ying. Lesion and Ella, kind of opposite is how people are going to be playing them. I like to play Ella as a trapper, as somebody who's going to be holding and rotating. And I really like to be playing Lesion as somebody who's going to be roaming and setting up those traps as you're going along. I think it's just easier to do, mainly because those traps replenish, and Ellas are something that you only have so many for. Now, like I had mentioned earlier, Zironic was talking about different ways to play her, different metas that they're kind of working on, one of which he was saying save your traps. You don't have to use them in preset places, but you can use them to disorient enemies that you know are in corners or hallways or rooms.
Yep.
So it's something you can be very aggressive with. She's so versatile.
And that's the way that I actually would play her. I would, like, if I knew somebody was outside Geisha window, and I would always hide in Geisha, you know, it's a nice spot, and I would throw it out the window, and I would just run at the window, and just as soon as it went off, dude, boom, I was outside. I was making plays, dude.
Right.
And that's the way I like to play Ella. Like, I would slowly go around. And if I heard somebody that was close by, I would put one behind me, you know, and then wait for an angle, and then if they didn't come, I would just pick it back up and just keep going, you know. So that's the way I played her. I think you're right. There's multiple ways to play her. But sorry, continue what you were saying. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I think you're hitting it like pretty much on the head, like to the different ways to play her. Like, so I played her a lot on Cafe. That's the map that it was. And I really like to play her as the trapper. Now, somebody had said in chat that they think the Scorpion has too high of damage with too fast of a rate of fire. And that is a good point. It does have a very high damage, but something that I mentioned is kind of that recoil control. So if you're going to be spraying with it, you know, obviously you're going to have a compensator on. It's going to be a little bit easier, but those first shots are going to be very wild for you.
I mean, if we're going to the weapons here, I would.
Right.
The Scorpion is a great weapon. I feel it has too much ammo, and maybe it's just because I'm not used to how many shots it has, because there was multiple times, you know, I'm pushing an Ella, she's firing 30 rounds. I'm like, oh, she's definitely got to reload. Nope, she's got 41 bullets left. I get killed because I miscalculate. I feel like there is way too many bullets because it has a higher fire rate and it has decent damage. Just the magazine itself is the only thing I don't like about it, you know, because you have like Hibana's weapon, which has a high fire rate, does, you know, good amount of damage, but it only has 21 rounds. So it's like now it's double. So it's like, it doesn't have an ACOG, but you don't really need an ACOG with the Scorpion. You're fine without it. So I do think maybe there might be some tone downs, but again, we have to see what the pros, you know, feel. You know, I'm not in that, so I can't really give, you know, the best opinion, but that's just my personal opinion as a player that's normally plat 1 or diamond on the ranks.
No, I mean, I agree. Like, so as a diamond ranked player, as a diamond level player, it's a good point to say that having too much ammo can be a detriment to how the meta is played.
Yeah.
So, you know, if it's not going to be an LMG where there's a ridiculous amount of ammo, maybe it should be limited.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about the shotgun?
I didn't toy around too much with it.
No, it has an extended barrel. Why didn't you test it out? It's awesome. It's like
when I
did,
I did enjoy it. It's a pretty decent shotgun. It's not something that I would pick over the Scorpion. I think just as we stated, the Scorpion though is such a good utility with that amount of ammo. Now, if they do nerf that ammo, maybe there's going to be more of a decision to be made on how you're going to be playing that operator. But right now, at least how the meta looks like it's going to be played, the Scorpion will for sure.
King.
Yes, absolutely. Will for sure be the reigning king. But overall, the main thing that I think we want to touch on is her pistol.
Okay, well, let's take it away, buddy.
Well, I fell in love.
It is nice.
I've never had such a fun experience with a pistol in this game.
It's pretty great, though. It's pretty great. I'm very happy they added that.
Oh, I'm so excited. Like if you didn't get to play the TTS, Ella's pistol, and I know we covered this in our podcast before, it does have a red dot sight on it, and it's oh so nice.
It is very nice. Let's see if I can pull one up on the screen while you're talking.
Right. It's like you can actually kind of like snipe with this thing now. Now I know people did some amazing like pistol snipes before without having sights on their pistols, but this thing now,
it is very nice.
It's
it
like
just feels good.
It feels good. It sounds good. The reload animation is really, really nice on it. I feel like it's a fantastic sidearm to add to the game. I wish that every operator now had sights on their pistols.
I'm kind of jealous, yeah.
Right, but it would completely change how this game is played, you know.
Well, also, I think they're taking notes on how pistols are. You know, you have your Deagle, which it's like a giant square in front of your screen. It's very hard to aim at because, you know, this game is focused around headshots, and it's hard to kind of see where their heads are. But the Hong Kong pistol is even great. Its sights are very tiny, so it's a lot easier.
Right.
It's actually better than the Black Ice operators. I don't know forgot what they're called. But
the
Canadian ones, they have their sights are pretty good too. But these are actually way better. So it seems like this patch really try to focus and make better handgun sights for everybody, and I think they're taking the right path because not many people, especially in the pro league, are out there using, you know, pistols as mains. You know, if anything, you're just memeing them to death. You know, it's kind of fun. So it's not. I don't think it's a problem to have red dots for every weapon. I don't see the harm in that. There's, you know, it's. I don't see why it's a bad thing. You know, but maybe there's something that we're not seeing that they are. I don't know. And I guess it maybe goes down to where they don't, like the SMG had the ACOG. They don't want people using secondaries as primaries, but, you know, Smoke and Echo are still using them as primaries. I mean, even Sledge players are using it. So I don't know. I don't know what their thought process is.
They shadow buffed it with giving it more ammo. So
yeah, exactly. So I don't know what their their thought process is on all that. But honestly, a red dot across every single weapon, even the Deagle, I'm fine with it, dude. I'll use the Valkyrie shotgun and I'll red dot Deagle all day. You give it to everybody, that's fine with me. I don't really think it's
and I mean there's balance ways to kind of give out red dots, right? So the Deagle, you could put a red dot on it and have the worst ridiculous animation for firing that it takes up 90% of your screen. Like the Deagle barrel could come all the way up to your nose if we really wanted to make it fair.
Right.
Like if it's going to be that accurate, we don't want you to be able to spam it. So there's ways to do it, but it would be nice. I agree.
So I think Ella will be almost said the song there, didn't I? I think Ella will be an operator that's used a lot in the meta. I think we'll definitely see her in the pro league. I don't think she'll be a primary operator like Smoke. Now Smoke, the thing that I see difference between Smoke and Ella is that, like, yes, Ella can stop a diffuser. Yes, Echo can stop a diffuser, which is fantastic. However, there's one thing that's different that people don't really pick up on, and it's the fact that Echo and Ella, they stop the diffuser, but they can't kill anybody. Smoke denies the area for a certain amount of time, not just the operator. So, like, let's say, boom, you get hit by both of them. You can immediately plant, and then you have to throw another one. It's a consumable, but with Smoke, you're blocking off that area. You can't do shit about it. You're stuck there, or you can't plant there. So I don't see Ella taking the place of Smoke because Smoke kills people. He's the only operator that has that type of gadget. So
100% better anchor.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, exactly. And he has a beautiful fast-firing secondary, and he has, you know, he can deconstruct the wall. So a lot of people are saying, like, oh, he might be the next Smoke. I think you're completely wrong about that. I don't think
I agree
she will ever. Nobody could take Smoke's position unless there's a better Smoke.
Right. No I 100% agree. I think so. In terms of like team comp, who she will be replacing, like I said, are kind of roamers. I mean, I agree. I play her as a more of a as an anchor, maybe like not a hard anchor, but a soft anchor with the soft roam. But she is meant to take the place of like a Jaeger. Now Jaeger's device is so legendary and needed. I think that
even
maybe she
in
won't
this
take
meta
Vader.
against the
Even
Ying,
in this meta,
it's
exactly.
he's still going to be needed. So who do you replace? Like, I guess we're
Right,
talking about metas now.
Bandit.
Like,
Well, I think he would
why?
go for Bandit.
Why would you go? Why would you leave Bandit now that he can get rid of Hibana charges? You know how awesome
Well,
it is.
that's the thing. So maybe there's not always a site I think that Bandit is needed for.
You got a point, like kitchen
so,
for
well,
Chalet.
even we're watching right here on Skyscraper, the other site, offices and master bedroom, definitely don't need a Bandit.
You got a point.
You could put one.
You
could put one on Dragon Wall, but you don't need to.
Right.
So right, I think that there's some sites where he's not needed. Same thing, Oregon, when you're defending basement, definitely don't need one.
Nope.
So yeah, I think that in terms of Smoke will still be picked, but she is going to be that roamer who we're going to be seeing swapped out.
So you've got an excellent point there. So you think Ella will be replacing Bandit in certain maps, just like you said, Laundry of Oregon, and that you bring up a good point there, because you can throw in Ella G-Mine like behind the laundry or the washing machine, and if anybody gets near it to go plant, boom, everybody's alerted first of all that they're trying to plant, and it gives you time to have a Smoke relocate, or whoever relocate into that position. So I think you hit the nail on the head there with stating that the pros will be switching between Bandit and Ella. So that's a beautiful comparison. Who do you think Lesion will be replacing, and do you think he will be in the meta in the Pro League?
You know, if I had to, oh God, I don't think he'll be replacing anybody right now, to be honest.
You think they'll just put him on the sideline until they find a strategy for him?
Right, I think he's going to be put on the sideline.
So he doesn't have it immediately. There's nobody that can immediately replace him, just like Bandit can.
Right. He may be somebody that's also put in a spot of like a soft roam, maybe an anchor position, but I just don't see him as being someone that they're going to be picking up every single time, or even 80% of the time. He's going to be someone very situational, and if you really enjoy his gunplay, because like with a lot of pros, it comes down to gunplay,
right?
That parallels the meta. So if they're going to be doing a meta that's preventing these pushes, or they're really going to be trying to keep a sight down, yeah, there may be a trapper meta for all we know that comes out of this. I doubt it, but it could happen.
Now, I agree with you. I think there's some things that you can replace. So who are the main defenders that they usually have? Either a Doc or Rook, a Smoke, a Jaeger, a Bandit. Honestly, I don't think you can replace a Valkyrie. I think she's always in the meta. But honestly, we've been kind of seeing I guess since Doc and Rook are the only ones that really have like an ACOG nowadays, an Echo, but I don't really see people use the MP5 SD. I wonder if people will start replacing, or the pros will start replacing like that heavy anchor, like a Rook or a Doc. I think he's great, but I wonder if he'll be like a replacement for Mira. You don't really need Mira all the time, but
very good point. Yeah,
he might replace it because it's information, and there's places where like top of consulate, for example, you don't really need a Mira. I know there's like people that like Remorse, he plays Mira inside that little bathroom by the copy room, and it's okay, but I don't really think that's like really needed as opposed to Laundry Room of Oregon. Like Mira there is like fantastic. Why would you not take a Mira there? But I think Legion's going to be one of those operators where it's going to be really hard to figure out. But I think you're right, though. I don't think there's an immediate replacement as of yet for him, like a instantaneous swap like Bandit and Ella. And it's amazing that you even brought that up. I mean, that's such a good point, dude. I mean, it definitely shows what the hell you're talking about in the pro scene when you bring that up. What are your thoughts on the Ying meta? Like we talked about the Ella meta, how she's gonna, maybe replace Bandit. We kind of talked about how Lesion might not be replacing anybody. What do you think about Ying? Do you think she's gonna be played immediately in the Pro League, or do you think she's gonna be a situational operator? And if so, who do you think she'll replace?
You know, I definitely see her being more of a situational support operator. Clearly, I mean, so she won't be replacing any breachers, right?
No,
so
not.
obviously Hibana, Thermite are going to be like top priority, big time picks. Then I think
you need the Thatcher or Twitch.
Right, and I think that Twitch will probably still be a higher pick. Her obviously F2 amazing gun. Amazing gun. So I think it's going to be very high up there. So I think she's going to be that like 4th, 5th pick. You know, depending on which site. Everything comes down to being like site specific. So depending on what site she's going or they're going to be attacking, it's going to then kind of say where she's going to be fitting in within the meta. So I think like on this bank right here, attacking archives and tellers, she's a pretty good pick. You can attack from above, you can send down the charges, you can then have people push in from multiple directions.
We actually did that in this video, I think.
I think
the very last round I was Ying. Yeah. So here I blow open the wall, and just like you said, Montaigne is wanting to push down below, and I flash it, and this is exactly it. I flash them, and I don't know why I run around like an idiot, but I should be jumping down. But Montaigne is walking in now that they're flashed, and we're pushing them out. But I think you're right. I think it is situational.
Right, very site specific.
Very site specific. Do you think? So she probably won't be replacing anybody anytime soon. So
I don't believe so. No.
So you think Ella's going to be an immediate? She has the immediate potential to be inside the meta now, like legit right now.
100% right now as a roamer. I think that you'll see a lot of pro players pick her up as.
Plus she's 3 speed, and all the pros get boners over that.
Exactly, and especially since that's how a lot of this meta kind of rotates around. It's like being fast, being able to get to that spot first, being able to get that first shot or peek that corner. Yeah, she's right away going to be picked up into the meta, I believe. The other guys, both Ying and Lesion, are both going to be very site specific on when they are chosen and played.
So I just want to show the chat that this is the new pistol sights. Look how small this is, and look how great this is.
Gorgeous.
This is like, look at that. It's so nice. These are really nice pistol sights. So well done, Ubisoft, for that. So I would agree with you on the Ying thing. I think she's definitely not ready for the meta. Like, I don't think she'll be immediately placed in at all. I think she'll be kind of a situational or kind of a fun operator. I know Canadian really is excited for her. I'm not as much as opposed to Lesion. Obviously, Ayla's going to be a big player, big contender, but I just don't really see Ying being that needed. Like,
right.
But then again, the meta does change, and I'm excited that the meta is finally changing. We've been playing this game for a year and a half, and we've had Operation Health for how long? 6 months or so?
6 months, yeah.
6 months or so. So the meta's been extremely stale. They've kind of updated things like, little claymores and the Glass buff and the Montaigne buff and all that stuff. But nothing's really, really changed. It's been kind of the same thing. We've seen Glass come in and out, and but now we're going to be seeing a huge change in some of the way the game is played. Obviously, it is going to be a slower meta, and I don't mean that as in like it's going to take them to 15 seconds to get to the objective. Obviously, they're going to be doing their own thing, but I think overall, especially in ranked, it is going to be a lot slower. But I'm excited about the meta change, and I think this patch is going to be really, really big. For everybody tuning out there, we do this every Friday. We talk about whatever happened or whatever we saw on live here on Twitch. I'm sorry that our internet got disconnected. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast as much as I did. We talked about pretty much everything that happened. GameAddicts, do you have anything else that you want to add to the podcast? Any last words?
Only one last thing about the TTS guys that we didn't really touch about.
Okay.
Because you'll be experiencing it, and it's the lighting update for the game.
Oh yes, let's talk about that real quick. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about it. What are your thoughts and feelings on new lighting?
I'm not going back to the live server until the patch comes out because the lighting is so good.
There you have it, folks. Look, that reason right there that Microwave said he doesn't even want to go back to the game.
No, I'm not
because
going back to the
game. It is so good. Yes. It is incredibly good. It's so exciting.
I think the biggest thing here is that I think Operation Health and something low key that nobody really noticed is that the fact that Ubisoft said, fuck it. This is no longer a realistic shooter. We need to make this a video game. And sure, the lighting is real like that. If you guys ever looked outside of like a bright sunny day, like in Georgia or some, southeast or even the desert, it's really blinding, especially when you're inside. But finally, they're like, you know what? Fuck it. We're making a video game. We're not making a realistic shooter. We need to do away with that. And you can see them drifting away from this realistic aspect and actually making it a video game. And you know what? It's working. It's getting better. They're going away from it, and they need to continue to go away from it. I used to be one of the advocates of, please make it realistic. We want more realistic headgears. We want more realistic shooters. Please, don't do this to us. Now, fuck that. Make the game better. Let's make this happen. And the lighting is in the step of the right direction. It is amazing, and I don't want to go back to the old servers. So I will not be playing Rainbow Six until the new patch. I'll be playing Overwatch and Fortnite. Until then, that's all I got for the lighting and everything. Is there anything else other than that? That was a good point. You added.
I think you hit 100% on the head, guys. It's something that is absolutely game changing. It'll make you fall in love with this game all over again. Not only is it gorgeous, not only does it remind you more of how this game was originally presented in their E3 trailer, but it makes the game 110% better. It's more playable. It feels better. It looks better. Lighting is something that when it comes out, guys, like I even got comments on my phone or on my video that said, is my phone messed up? Because the lighting is so good now.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, it's game changing, guys. It's the one thing that I think overall, despite how operator is going to be used, despite how the gadgets are going to be used, lighting is going to change this game 100%.
I completely agree with you, and thank you so much for bringing that up, because that is a huge change in the TTS that we did not cover, and I'm glad you brought that up. So, but with that, is there anything else that you want to add to the people on YouTube that are watching this, or Twitch chat right now? Because I guess we're going to answer some questions and play some other games and stuff.
That's it from me. I'm just happy that you guys continue to tune in and enjoy watching us.
Yeah, we had 180 viewers on Twitch, which is, I think, a record. Last time was like 170. No, we had 210, so it was almost there. But on YouTube, we had like 500. So it's crazy how that all works. But either way, man, it's a great thing to just sit here and talk and really think about how the meta is going to be changing. We would like to talk about the Pro League and stuff. We wanted to cover it, but the patch notes came out, and the patch notes was an hour-and-a-half long conversation, so we didn't want to do 4 podcasts in like a week, because that's just way too much. And the way YouTube algorithm works, it messes it all up. So we decided not to do it. But we're hoping to start covering the Pro League as it happens after the games and stuff. So if you guys want to tune into that, we'll talk about it. But with that, guys, really appreciate it. You can see this thing live up on Sunday on YouTube, and if you guys want to come by and say hi, say what's up, then come on Friday at 9:30, hang out and ask us some questions, or say whatever you want to us, and let us know how we're doing to improve or anything like that. So with that, guys, I really do appreciate it, and have a good night, guys.